we're going to jump into top questions that people have about health and wellness, right? So, I mean, it's a bit general, but it's a bit specific as well. So I think that the listeners and the viewers will have a better understanding of health and wellness pertaining to the specific topics, all right? So, how are you feeling this evening?
Very good.
Relax, man.
Yeah.
Take a seat. Take a seat. Herbal consultations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you do them, that's your thing. But what I admire about you, right, is that not only do you just give a herbal regimen, like you ask for numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Keep the communication gap going.
exactly, right? So in coming to see you, the first thing you ask is give me your numbers, give me your x-rays if needed.
Yeah.
Right?
Blood work, ultrasound, CAT scan, CT scan, MRIs.
Yes, depending on the ailment.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you prepare for, how would you advise, how would you advise your clients to prepare for a session with you, in addition to having their numbers and their x-rays?
Well, usually what they have to do is they have to make the appointment. When they make the appointment, then we will ask about the condition that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, if they have cancer, we have to know what type of cancer it is.
Yep.
If it is a sarcoma cancer.
Okay.
If it is breast cancer, we have to know if it's triple negative.
Got it.
Which is a fast-moving cancer.
Do you require x-rays if it's cancer?
Yes, if it's cancer, if it's what type of cancer it is.
Got it.
If it's breast cancer, we have to look at the triple negative breast cancer. We have to look at the HER positive or true breast cancer. We have to look at the HR1.
All right.
Breast cancer, which is what you call hormonal estrogen receptors.
Got it.
And progesterone receptors cancer.
Got it.
Then we look for the CA121, the CA15.3. It's a cancer mark of the breast.
Okay.
If it's the ovary, then the person, the woman have ovarian cancer, we look for the marker called CA125. That will give us an idea of how bad the cancer is. The number goes a little higher.
So numbers and possible x-rays for cancer.
Yeah.
What about if you have like high blood pressure, diabetes? What information do you need to prepare to come to see you?
Well, usually if you have hypertension, we have to look at the numbers. So we have to look at the systolic number, the top number, the diastolic number. Then I have to look at the pulse too.
Got it.
So I will ask the person, what was the number of the pulse? And the person might say 100, 120. So like that, your thyroid's messed up. So your high blood pressure is coming from there. If the high blood pressure, the diabetes is damaging the kidney, then they will have to bring we call a renal profile test for me. So I have to look at to see if the high blood pressure or the diabetes was damaging the kidney. Wow. So I have to look at sodium, potassium, carbon, chloride, BUN, blood urea nitrogen. I have to look at creatinine and the GFR, which have different numbers for African Americans and
okay. Yeah. So what about medication? Because that's another thing that I noticed, right? Like you just don't just give a herbal regimen, because we know that herbs can affect the medication that
it deals with contraindication.
Got it.
So if you're taking for instance, if a lot of people who have high blood pressure, for instance, if they're taking a calcium channel blocker, like nifedipine, or they're taking a Telenol, which is a beta blocker, which can drop the heartbeat but also increase cholesterol levels. You have to look at that. If they're taking a ACE inhibitor, like a Zestrin or Lisinopril, same drug, or they're taking what you call a water pill, like a hydrochloroside or a Lasix, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or a Bearzide. Then what we look at the herbs that we're going to give them that do the same thing. And if, for instance, hawthorn leaf and flower would be contraindicated for taking that particular herb with a drug called nifedipine.
Right.
So if we're going to put the person on a program, we would make the person take the drugs 2 hours apart from the herbs, so they don't clash with each other.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And that's what I find really special about you as a herbalist. Yeah. Looking at the drug herb interaction. Yeah, and that's really important
very
because
significant.
yes, so you work. It seems as getting the numbers. It's working together with medical professionals. You know, just not coming and saying, okay, hey, like you can, you know, just relieve yourself of your medication. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, so that's what I admire about you. You educating folks and just giving your suggestions and regimens with that in mind. That's what makes you quite different. So,
like we have a patient from Canada, I think we mentioned that yesterday, who had cancer, and she was taking chemotherapy, and the chemo and the radiation damaged her lung. They put holes in her lung.
Yes.
And we had to plug the holes in the lung. But the oncologist in Canada realized that a hole in the lung was all plugged up. And she had to, what you been doing? Herbs. So we want to talk to this guy who gave you all these herbs. Because we give
who is this man?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we give you these drugs right now. That is, they give her a drug because she had tumors in her liver. And usually when you have tumors, it causes clots to form. We call thrombosis. Or you can call it embolism in the lung.
Right.
So they had on these blood thinners with an injection, which caused her bones to become brittle.
Wow.
So we had to speak to the oncologist. We spoke on the phone, very open-minded sister, it's a white lady, and we was explaining to her, if you're going to give her that particular drug, it's going to cause her bones to become brittle, we have to know in turn give her some calcium.
Right.
Keep the bones alive.
Keep the bones alive.
So it's what we call complementary medicine.
So what ended up happening with that specific client?
Well, she's still alive, you know.
Yes.
They give her 3 months to live. She's
3 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's doing good. So now I asked the doctor to remove her of that particular injection because it was matching up her bones. And we're going to give her some herbs that deal with the same circulation, preventing clotting, but don't match the bones up. So she did that, and she was really open-minded.
Yeah, that's great. That's great when you have. That's like it's a team.
Yeah.
She created her own team.
Yeah.
Because she came and seeked your assistance.
Yeah.
You know.
She's a doctor. She's an oncologist.
Oh, the doctor. I was talking about the patient.
Yeah.
The patient created her own team.
Yes.
Because of her open-mindedness.
Right.
Coming to seek your assistance, and of course going through Western medicine because you know she has cancer. That's a very serious ailment. So yeah, she created her own team. So she
was getting better. She didn't die in 3 months.
Exactly.
So it was asking, what did you do then?
And
she
that's
said,
what matters.
I'm on a program. I'm taking herbs. Who gave you herbs? So keep on herbs.
Who's that man? Exactly. Who's that man? That man is just a master herbalist, Patrick Delves. Wow, that's amazing.
Excited.
One of the other things I noticed is that you, within your programs, they feature specific things that cater to the ailments pertaining to food.
Yeah.
And that's how we align because when I first met you, I spoke about food.
Yeah.
Right? So everyone knows that Patrick and I always talk about food.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you give a program that basically gives instruction of what to eat for your specific to your concern, or I want to say your imbalance.
Yeah.
Right?
I know what imbalance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your programs. Talk more about your programs.
We have different kind of programs. We have program for cancer prevention.
Yeah.
30-day program. We have program for viruses. It's called an antiviral program. So we use antiviral plans. And we have program for right now people on what's called a rainbow diet program for the fall.
Okay, rainbow diet.
Yeah. So
rainbow diet right here. Brown, purple, red, green. Right? So we got it all here. Rainbow diet.
Program. Then we have another program called the mucus-less diet program. Meaning that you're going to go on that program and you're not going to eat any food that have mucus. It's called a mucus-less diet program. And then we have a program that we do every 3 months. It's called a yeast and parasite cleanse to remove parasites and yeast from the system. So
Yes.
And we have one coming up on the high blood pressure program.
The high blood pressure program.
Diabetic
That's
program.
phenomenal. High blood pressure program,
Diabetic
diabetic program,
program.
cancer program, the
Lupus
anti-viral program, lupus program.
Eye program, you can see like an eagle.
Wow. Phenomenal. Wow. So, feedback on the program, right? When the clients come and you give them the program, how do they do when they leave the office. They leave seeing Patrick Delves, they go home, right? Do they feel supported?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I said earlier that I asked for the number. So I said we have to communicate on the phone.
Yes.
Because a lot of people go and start the program, feel good, but then they fall at the bandwagon.
Yes.
And then some of them can't climb back. Some of them do. And that's what we have a group.
Right.
So we have a group on Facebook.
Support each other.
Yeah, so we do programs in the group where we support each other. And if somebody's gonna fall, we say, if you fall, just right up the horse and ride again.
Yeah, just get back home.
Right. So I take numbers so that, especially if I'm gonna wean people of the medication.
Yes.
So I have to know if the pressure is normal when you're not taking the drug. And I would say, okay, if you're not taking the drug for 3 to 4 days and you're taking the herb and you see your pressure is normal for 3 to 4 days, you skip another day of the demon.
Right.
It's in the drugs, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I work with them. And eventually people see that by changing the lifestyle and the diet, they seem to get better.
Right.
Some will stick on it and some will come off the bandwagon and fall
come off, right?
Yeah,
and we're not perfect, you know.
And come and say, Mr. Dale, you know, I fell off the wagon.
I fell off, and that's okay.
And
It's okay to fall off,
yes,
right?
that's all
Because it's like right now we're in a stressful environment, and
we all fall off sometimes.
Yeah,
I all fall off sometimes too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
But when I fall off, I go and I take a cleanse the next night.
You go and take a cleanse. Okay, you see, you hear that now? When a man fall off, so that we all fall off, he go and take a cleanse.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about
I know, right, man. I want to come and lie to people and say, I do everything right and I'm
do
perfect.
everything right. No. Sometimes we fall off. It's
okay. Sometimes my daughter like, she like pizza, but I like to use the Ital pizza.
Yeah.
We use pelt flour.
Or with the plant-based cheese.
The plant-based cheese, and use some onions and tomatoes on that. So I will indulge them because my children, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And after the next day, we'll take a cleansing.
And then you'll take a cleanse.
Yeah.
Wow. So one of the things that I've heard, it was honor shadowing you, and one of the things that was mentioned while clients were expressing their concerns and questions and so on, we spoke about lifestyle and you mentioned food, but people were also interested in stress reduction.
Yeah.
And again, we're in a highly stressful environment, and it's like it's challenging, but it's a task that must be accomplished, okay? So I take back the challenge word, and I want to say that it's a journey to finding the activities that serve you well.
Sure.
That's basically what it is. It's a journey. So here at Renewed, we offer the healthy cooking classes, we have the yoga classes, and so on. And, these are things that can help reduce stress. In addition to art expression, so fitness, art expression, cooking. All of between the fitness in terms of yoga and dancing and movement, all of these things help to reduce stress, right? Even cooking, for me, that's my stress reducer, okay? So tonight we have Banton on the ones and twos, giving us some music and tunes, right? And this is a regular night for me right here, right? Playing my music, cooking food, and it's just great to have you here as well, because knowledge, having the knowledge from you. So this is a regular night for me right now. All right, so again, we're gonna go over, for those of you now tuning in, getting the most out of Patrick's Herbal Consultations. He expressed numbers. Get your numbers, get your x-rays, and different things are needed based on your ailment, right? So I think it's really good if clients have questions prepared. Because sometimes, they're used to seeing you on Facebook, they never came to see you before, and they probably have some other questions to ask you pertaining to your lifestyle as well. But having some prepared questions helps, right? Because when you have an imbalance, as we call it, you're trying to bring yourself back into balance, right? So in order to do that, you have to have the knowledge to do so, because Patrick isn't there 24/7. So your time with him, your hour time with him, and then you go home and you have to take what you took from the hour and what you take from Facebook and apply it to your own life. So you have to be educated, and one of the things that I noticed that you do your best to educate them educate your clients when they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Education is the key.
yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, so it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's phenomenal that you consistently educate the public on healing themselves, right?
Yeah.
So heal yourself. We all can do it. We all have the capability to do it.
The body heals itself if given the right nutrition.
If given the right nutrition.
My palate is different.
Banton is over here. He is like staring at the food setup here. He is in awe at our food setup. He cannot wait to indulge.
Ah, man, look, man.
Food, right? As we know it, being our medicine. You can't just combine anything, right?
Yeah, it's just another combine.
You gotta know how to combine your food,
Yes,
right? So we have eggplant here, and we know we have a lot of people that like the eggplant parmesan, but eggplant is a nightshade plant and it does not digest well with cheese, right? So we combining the eggplant with greens and other vegetables so that you can have improved digestion, right? So we got the eggplant, we got the mushrooms, we got tomatoes, we got onions, we got okra, right? And then we got the healthy grain. We're working with farro tonight.
Oh.
Farro. Benton, you never had the farro here, did you?
Nah, I'll do the farro, man. You see the tomato and onion.
You don't eat the tomato?
And
Oh
mushroom?
my god. Alright, well don't worry because once it's combined, you won't taste like.
I hear you.